What's going on, YouTube? You're back with Shades, and we're continuing our Let's Play of SC2VN, the StarCraft 2 visual novel. Last time we left off, we played a little bit of Go, which is Reversey. If you guys don't know what that is, if you guys don't know what Go is, it's a Eastern style board game. It's basically kind of like it's kind of like Capture the Flag in a sense. But if you know how to play Reversey, you know how to play Go. But basically, we were supposed to meet Reva in an hour, and the game we were playing with Mr. Yan took a lot longer than we had expected. So anyway, my feet carry me as fast as they can. If Reva got tired of waiting in front of my door and left, I'm screwed. I pan my way up my apartment stairs and pause in the hallway to find that she isn't there. Frustrated, I sighed, force open my door. I'm dead. I'm so dead. Why didn't I keep track of the time? Why now? Why when so much is on the line? As I rack my brain for an excuse I can offer to Jet, I look up to find that my apartment is already occupied. You are late. She rises from my seat and points at my computer. Ladder. How are you in my room? The door was not locked. I let myself in when you failed to answer my calls. You just came in? Yes. My breathing calms as my panic subsides. I forgot to lock my door, huh? I guess this is better than showing up to find my computer missing. Right, okay, sorry I got caught up with some old guy. Here. With a rustle, I reach in my bag I'm carrying and hand a drink to Reva. Caught up? Reva takes my offering without so much as looking at it. Whether or not she actually is going to drink it, I've done due my diligence as a host. It's hard to explain. You do not need to explain your relationship with an old man if you would rather not. Even though I'm pretty sure it's a joke, Reva doesn't smile to show it. I offer a nervous laugh and fall to my computer chair, trying to move on from the topic of my tardiness. So, right, ladder. Is there something you think I need to practice? You will want to match against Protoss players only. Quit the match if your opponent is a Terran or a Zerg. Wait, but my ranking! With a few keystrokes, I display my proudly earned Grandmaster badge accompanied by a rank in the double digits. If I leave 2/3 of my games tonight, I'm gonna lose a bunch of ladder points. Are your ladder points really that important? Absolutely. Well... Without a word, Reva takes the mouse from me and logs out of StarCraft 2. Her fingers dance across the keyboard, and a second later, we logged into her barcode account. The Grandmaster badge accompanying Reva's anonymous username is ranked even higher than mine. Play on this one then. I don't care about ladder rank, and neither should you. I scratch behind my head and have the sense to look embarrassed. She's right. It's pretty dumb of me to worry about ladder rank at a time like this. With a nod and a click, I search for my first match of the night. It takes a handful of games before I'm finally matched up against a Protoss. Ugh, it's got one of those weird names with random capitalizations. Reva sees over my shoulder, up from the edge of my bed, eyes fast on the monitor. Your APM is low. I wince, responding with a flurry of unnecessary keystrokes. I've never cracked 300 APM, even when I'm focused on doing so. A minute or two passes without comment, though it's hard to tell whether or not that means she thinks I'm playing well. Your engineering bays are late. Are they? They are! Damn it! I whip my mouse hard, a pair of SCVs, and then slam down 2 delayed structures. I check his army composition with a scan and decide I'm ready to challenge him. Delayed upgrades or no, I managed to keep a close eye on my opponent's tech that have a massive swell of Vikings by the time his Colossus comes into play. His army gets caught in an awkward position when he tries to establish his third base, allowing me to power forward into his base. It's a win I'd normally celebrate with a self-assured smile. But with Reva over my shoulder, I'm forced to feign humility in my victory. I turn toward her, motion toward the screen. Well, what do you think? She adjusts her glasses and purses her lips, taking a long moment to decide her response. He was bad, but you capitalized on his mistakes, so I have no major complaint. A good player won't let you obtain free information. Use your scans wisely. I thought I used them pretty well, didn't I? Scouting is one of the things I'm best at. Not particularly. You should always aim to be even better. I grumble and turn up to queue up another game. Yet another thing to focus on, I guess. I had thought Reva's low-key attitude might have made her a little bit lenient with my mistakes, but she's not all that different from Jet, minus how she delivers her criticism. My next match is on the largest map on the current ladder pool. I'll have a pretty easy time defending my expansions with the way the map's choke points are constructed. Rather than poke and prod with Marines or go out early for aggression, I throw down a quick third base into a far-flung corner of the map shortly before I begin my natural expansion. Pulling off this kind of tactic is incredibly rewarding. If it goes unscouted, I'm practically guaranteed to win. Why are you doing that? Practice something useful. I shift my gaze aside to find Reva uncomfortably close to both me and the monitor. What if I decide to hide an expansion against Bolt? Are you going to risk the team on a coin flip, cancel it, and aim for a long game? Reva offered the advice too firm to be called a suggestion, and I find myself moving the mouse to do as instructed. The gap is going to set me back a fair bit. I gear for the drawn-out match by focusing on my upgrades and base defense. It's not long before my Protoss opponent and I have split the map in half and are jockeying for position. Build more defenses. You can afford a dozen planetary fortresses. Is that really necessary? Mock, your opponent is Protoss. Protoss players will stop at nothing to cheat an honest Terran out of an earned win. Funny, I typically imagine balanced whiners as loud obnoxious in real life. I wonder if she quit playing random out of guilt. Still, I oblige her and cram as many static defense structures as I can into a vital choke point. There's an observer over your army. I squint to find that she's right. Damn, how did I not catch that earlier? With a scan, I pick off the Protoss scout and reposition my units. I take a few minutes to adjust my army composition to one that better suits an extreme late game, but I'm soon ready to clash with my opponent. At this point, StarCraft becomes less about a strategy and more about patience. It's important to know that when to stalk and when to pounce. I sense an opening at last and rush into my opponent's weak flank. Out of the corner of my eye, I sense Reva tensing up, invested as much as I am into the outcome of the battle. But it tries to my snipes don't connect with the higher Templar scattered amongst the Protoss army. He drives my units inside, storms and steamrolls down the center of my map, destroying my constructed defenses along the way. I struggle pointlessly to mount a counter-offense, but the damage is done. I'm forced to tap out a GG and quit the match with a huff. He controlled his army better than you did. I spin into my chair to face Reva with a frown. If he didn't, I would have won. Ugh, that was so close. Yes, it was. At least she conceded to a point to my credit when I deserved, but damn, that match took a while. As long as a go with Mr. Yan was not longer. What time do you need to leave? Are you throwing me out? What? No, I'm just saying if you need to be home at a certain time, let me know. I do not. Okay. She doesn't take... Why does talking to her feel so unnatural? This has to be intentionally on her part. I need a break. Your opponent will use every wasted moment to become better than you. Breaks are dangerous. Just a short one. I'm thirsty anyway. We'll be back on the ladder with a vengeance afterwards. Thirsty. I see. My fist clenches involuntarily as I reach for a can, nearly forcing me to knock it over. I offer Reva an exhausted look before cracking open my drink. Not to be outdone, I poise a sip before glancing casually in her direction. So, why do you pretend to be a guy on the internet? Now it's Reva's turn to tense up. Her face contorts, eyes glazing over as if her scanning her internal database for a scathing comeback. Ah, shit, it's time for some character development for Reva! And also, right now she's waifu for this game. I don't like the other girls in the game so far, but that could change later. But right now, Reva's #1 waifu. Top tier. Top tier. Never use that term seriously, ladies and gents. Never use that term seriously. 404, comeback not found. Boom! Take it, Reva. I do no such thing. Details about my private life are kept just so. Private. Others simply assume. Well, that's all come to an end if you're going to be on Team Enoch, isn't it? I suppose. Excited about living in a team house? As long as it's being paid for, yes. And for esports money, I see. Of course, since primary school I have dreamed of my own bunk bed and free cup noodles. I like cup noodles. I might have some after this. Who knows? I love ramen. Excuse me. Reva's refreshingly realistic about pro-gamer living conditions. Maybe she can talk out some sense into stunt. To be frank, anything is better than life back at home. Oh, trouble with your parents? No, my parents worked hard to give me the opportunities they never had, and for that I will always be grateful, but they live far from Seoul, so I was isolated from my friends for the most part. You mean your online friends? Yes, but now I have the chance to make my own way. I take pride in the fact that I have turned my skills into a living, no matter how meager. You should be. Most people living off StarCraft do it with the support of a team, but you've managed to do it on your own. You have the right to be proud. Maybe, but sometimes even though I'm happy with my accomplishments, I lack the confidence to devote more of myself to this game. Really? I wouldn't have expected to hear something like that from you. Why? I don't know. You seem kind of like the resolute type, no regrets, that sort of thing. I'm bad at putting into words my impression of Reva, but she seems to understand what I mean by the nod she offers. You are correct that I always give my full efforts to my pursuits. However, this is not a matter of regret. Normally I can be satisfied even in failure if I've done my best. But what if the task was not working towards in the first place? What do you mean? Esports is like anything else, isn't it? It's a climb to the top. It is, but StarCraft is inherently less valuable than most other things. Art, athletics, education, science, a corporate career. Objectively, my time is better spent on almost anything other than pro gaming. Very true. And most people will put you down for trying to be on pro gamer, or even on YouTube for that matter. But I do not believe I can truly distinguish myself at any of those things, while it's possible as a pro gamer. I was born in the right country, I am the correct age, and I have enough required talent. Even then, it is not logical for me to spend so much time and effort on something that should statistically prove unrewarding. Yet I cannot bring myself to turn down the chance to compete. Oh my god, Sorry, my mother texted me. I'm just a little annoyed, that's all. Sorry. I still have the same drive, so I can at least understand that, but you really won't do something if you can't be best at it, and the way you talk about your motivation. Do you even like StarCraft? No, I don't. She answers bluntly, then looks away. I have nothing else to say. High-level StarCraft isn't always fun in the traditional sense of the word, but it sounds like Reva genuinely doesn't enjoy the game. For her to be as good as she is, that holding her back is hard to understand. StarCraft's greatest players have always credited their love of the game as a major factor in their success. How far can she hope to go without that advantage? With silence filling the space between us, Reva takes this opportunity to try out the drink I brought for her. On the first taste, she screws her face up and hurries to set it down. How can you stand something so sugary? I shrug, since I don't have the good answer. It's not like I can explain why something tastes good. Where are you living if not with your parents? Do you know what a goshiwon is? No way, really? That's a term that showed up in one of my online lessons. If I remember correctly, it's an absurdly tiny type of apartment, literally the size of a closet with a low price to match. I live on the edge of Seoul, so rent isn't expensive. I pay with my winnings from online tournaments. Matches on the last week of every month. If I have not yet hit my quota, it can be very stressful. That has been my life since I graduated from high school. Damn, you don't mind the lack of space? I do. I am enjoying the chance to stretch while it lasts. She demonstrates by falling back onto my bed and fully extending her legs. I shake my head and try not to laugh. It'll last. The team house would be a nice upgrade for the both of us. Reva sits up and rests her arms on her knees. Break time is over. Return to the ladder. Alright. I spin my chair toward the computer and resume my training. The blue light from my computer monitor shines in Reva's glasses. Her advance and my grumbling is all that's said between us. Advice. I said advance. Jesus. The matches bleed into each other, one foe falling after another, and I'm in a Protoss-slaying groove. Reva goes quiet in the middle of a particularly intense game. Jesus Christ. Leaving only the sounds of my keyboard and mouse clicks to mingle with the game sounds blasting from my headphones. I manage to prolong my win streak with a multi-pronged attack that forces my opponent to tap out. With a triumphant grin, I push off the desk and turn. Boom! 3-0. And find that Reva has fallen asleep on duty. Well, that explains why she didn't point out that my dropships were delayed. Is that really that late? I rest my hand against my cheek. Should I wake her up and tell her to go home? Ugh, she looks too peaceful for me to do it in good conscience. I could just sleep on the floor, I guess. You're both girls. It's fine. Cuddle. I am perverted trash. I am sorry. That was honestly my first response, and it's because they're both girls. Honestly, if I picked a guy character, I would have been like, boy, you better sleep on the floor! Jesus Christ, I'm fucked up. I'm sorry. I am sorry. Everyone's a little sexist. Even me, who tries his hardest not to be. I bunch up a hoodie from my dresser into a makeshift pillow and ease myself into the space under my desk. The ground isn't exactly comfortable, but with enough shifting around, I find a decent spot. Not long after, my eyelids grow heavy and sleep claims me. I'm on the floor. Why am I on the floor? The trash on my desk is gone, and the bed is made. Right. Reva. When I stand, an ache in my back forces me to wince. It's nothing serious, but I have turned over in my sleep onto a weird angle. A text message from Reva awaits me when I check my phone for the time. She borrowed some of my clean clothes? Really? Ugh. Well, at least she admitted it. The week ahead is going to be tough. 6 days probably isn't enough time to make any sort of serious breakthroughs in terms of my mechanics or game sense, but it's long enough to craft a game plan that might edge out Bolt. My biggest issue with the matchups is that I have no idea what to expect from him. How does a Brood War player go about learning StarCraft 2? Maybe I should ask Jet or Excel. Whatever the case, the team is probably waiting for me at Golden Zone Fire. I should hurry over. By noon, my wrists are sore from a morning of anti-rush defense, without anything specific to practice against. Stuns spam me with with game after game of proxy gates, cannon rushes, and one-base all-ins. I feel prepared in an incredibly unlikely case that Bolt risks the match on something like a 2-gate. Stunts on a one-note Protoss, but he plays that note pretty damn well. Can you try something else for a change? My brain is starting to fry. Heh, I'm not even warmed up yet. You're only able to defend against these builds because you're expecting them. Obviously, that's the point of the point of a cheese is to catch the opponent off guard. What's the point of cheesing when it's literally all you can do? Ugh, you don't understand. Cheesing is an art that I will be the first to master. Seriously though, Mach needs to prepare for more than just your one-base all-ins. Try playing standard for a change. Fine. Just then Jet steps through the doors of Golden Soul Fire at a fierce pace. Jesus. Saving me from more of Stunt's abusive builds. But the relief I feel at her arrival shatters when I catch sight of her figure at her heels. Ew! It's the guy! Before I can form a question at Bolt's presence, both he and Jet are standing before us. She shoots an annoyed glance at him before speaking. He insisted on speaking with you before he agreed to play. Bolt lifts his chin at me, savoring the moment. I need something from him, a show match, and he's well aware of the power it grants him. So, Mach, still desperate to make a name for yourself? I match his aloof expression with a hard one, determined to show that he can't intimidate me. Our sponsor needs a demonstration of the team's potential. It's not about me. Don't kid yourself, this is all about you. I'd be facing Jet Excel, or one of the wannabe dishwashers you managed to clown into signing if it wasn't. Do you think I haven't read what they're saying online? I draw a sharp breath. To Bolt's amusement, he shakes out his wrist and offers a shrug. I'd normally have better things to do than play a show match in a lesser game, but hey, you've caught me at a good time. My next Brood War match isn't for a few weeks. Just got enough time to brush up on my SC2 and ship you back across the Pacific. Did you know that my team manager won't even let me play S-2 in the Shock Team house? This is distracting to the other players. I reach for another calming breath, but find no relief. It's that smile of his. What, you came here to talk some trash? Quit wasting my time and accept the match. I accept, and I'll do you one better than you'll do me, catch. Bolt pulls something out of his pocket and tosses it at me. My reflexes don't fail me, and as I snack the small black object in midair. I open my hand and find a thumb drive. What? 50 replays. Study them all you like. You'll have no excuse when you lose. By the way, Jet, let me give you a tip. Next time you go behind my back for replays, don't try to get them from someone that shares my feelings on your opponent's opportunist bullshit. Your foreigner mascot is lucky that I'm feeling generous. With an infuriating air of superiority, Bolt turns to leave. My team visibly share my frustration, but none of them rush to my defense. Maybe it's for good reason. I can't keep relying on Jet or Excel to bail me out of trouble. Beating Bolt isn't their responsibility. It's mine. Hey, Bolt. He turns, mild surprise showing on his face when I flick the thumb drive out of my hand and at his feet. I won't lose to you again. Remember it. Tell yourself that. He shows his teeth in his smirk and crushes the flash drive under his heel. Just like you told yourself, you could qualify for VSL. Oh shit! Wow! That was cold. That was cold as all fuck. That was honestly the coldest thing I've ever heard. That was so fucking cold. Sorry. My phone vibrated. Bits of plastic and metal are all that remains of the USB when he lifts his foot to continue his way out. The tension remains long after Bolt's departure. Finally, Jet enters my personal space, eyes sharp and locked with mine. Why did you do that? We needed his replays! Excel steps forward and places his hand on Jet's shoulder. Bolt was trying to get into Mach's head. You know that, Jet. It was the right call. Dang, he really didn't feel like leaning over to pick it up, huh? Those things are like 10,000 won. The quip earned him a perplexed stare from Excel and Jet. I'm too distracted to even react. Whatever, Mach, if you're gonna be showy, save it for when it'll gain you some fans. That gave me an idea for a ceremony to beat this guy. Let's get like 10 flash drives and... Hey, Stunt, I've got a better idea for a ceremony. We sign a contract with Enoch and move on to our team house. How's that sound? That's not as funny as what I had in mind. Enough banter, get back to practicing. Can we take a break or something? I need a minute. We don't have a minute, especially without replays. Practice now. I quietly follow Stunt's lead back to the PC. Excel and Jet move in and take their seats behind us. From the top, and no rushes, Stunt. This is getting intense. I have absolutely no clue how anyone can practice for more than 10 hours a day. My wrists ache, my eyes hurt, my subconscious won't consider anything but unit composition and attack timings, and I can't get Bolt's stupid smirk out of my head. Worse still, with Jet forcing Stunt to play standard, our practice wasn't productive at all. She didn't seem happy with me when she left to meet with the producers at the VSL studio, but after so many games, it becomes impossible for me to focus. What else are we supposed to do? Reva doesn't seem like she's in practice for anything race but Terran. Do we even have a chance against Bolt? Did I ever in the first place? Dude, how does anyone macro? It's boring, exhausting, and makes you consider a zillion variables. Economy management is so stupid. You just described what StarCraft is supposed to be, minus the boring part. Well, I don't like it. I'm best at it when I can focus microing. Who says I have to play a game past 10-minute mark? No one, as long as you're okay with an awful win rate. With practice done for the day, I agree to join Excel and Stunt for dinner while Jet deals with logistics and setup for the match. I'm led down a smoky street where greasy and fragrant smells mingle. My experience with street food so far hasn't been great, but I trust the judgment of Stunt and Excel. Row after row of stalls are thick with customers clamoring for a hot meal. The three of us browse various offerings before Stunt insists on one in particular. Do you like bidetok, Mak? Sure, yeah, whatever's fine. A single cook mango stall cleaves through customer orders faster than I think possible. It isn't long before we're walking away from the stall, paper wrap, pancake in hand. I don't know how to pronounce a Korean word, so don't ask me for a proper pronunciation. We settle for a curb far enough away from the foot traffic to avoid being trampled. Reva's gonna run into trouble with Jet if she doesn't show at Golden Stonefire again this week. Yeah, she can only help Mock so much. Besides, it's not like she can skip out on practice at the team house. You ever been inside a team house, Stunt? The Protoss forces down his food with a thump to his chest. No, but I've seen pictures. It's an informal setting. It isn't hard to sleep in or slack off, but the type of people that do that usually don't become pro gamers, or at least don't last long as one. We don't have any subs. Isn't that going to be a problem? Let's worry about one thing at a time. There won't be much need for subs if we don't do our best this week. Still, the team is tiny, 5 people including management. Jet wasn't kidding when she said she wanted a lean team. That sudden thought of the team Goshi won isn't almost enough to make me smile. Yo, Excel, what did you do with all your prize money from Brood War? That's kind of a personal question, isn't it? I don't mind answering. Spent about half of it on general living expenses and stuff for my family. The rest I've got saved. Lame. What's the point of winnings if you don't spend them? The typical childish, mentality. When you have money, spend it. Duh! No, you gotta save some of it. I mean, if you have a large amount of money, it's okay to spend, like, a good amount of it, but, like, all of it? Nah. Gotta be careful with that money. It could disappear in an instant. I've earned 40 million won or so, not counting salary. That may sound like a lot, but it's easy to go through if you aren't responsible. Why am I slipping? Oops. Give me a second, guys. Deaf to the sense Excel is trying to talk into him, Stunt stares off into space with stars in his eyes. If I won VSL Grand Final, I'd buy a car, or a house, a new PC. I would too. I would love to buy a new PC. If I had a new PC, I wouldn't have all these recording errors and shit like that. But whatever, I have no time to be salty over not having technology. Oops. Oh shit. He continues rattling off a dozen of superfluous objects in a way only someone who has lived without worrying about paying rent can. Excel and I both take the chance to eat without interruption. Jet still got 100 million won from his first VSL championship, right? That plus some, probably. Why? I wonder if I could convince her to trick out the team house. Feel free to ask, just make sure I'm there for her reaction. What about you, Mock? What would you bring with your big winnings? I don't know, save it or something. God, the chicks on our team are all so boring. Don't forget that all the time you spend climbing StarCraft's ladder, someone else spends climbing the corporate ladder. If you're only in esports for the money, just get a real job. Psh, it's all no big deal. After making big the next Protoss Bonnois, I'll just get a job as a coach or a team owner. I've got it all planned out. There's no convincing Stunt at this rate. Not that I can blame him. I wasn't any more responsible when I was his age. Yeah, he's like, what, 14? With the final bite, what's left of my bindetok. I don't think that's how you pronounce it. I have no idea. I'm pretty sure it's 90% wrong. There's no more than a grease on a napkin. I'm joined by my teammates when I move to toss away my trash. Heading home, Mock? Yeah, gonna ladder for a bit, then sleep. Gotcha. I'll be at the calf by 10. Don't be late. Not like we have anything better to do. The three of us turn separate ways out of the alley. I enjoy the walk back to my apartment in silence. I think I'm gonna end the part here. It's a good place to end, and other than that, like, that's the scene changed. So like I always get scared when I hit the time mark, because like I get to another scene and I don't want to end in the middle. So I think this is a good place to stop. It's almost 30 minutes anyway. So yeah, a little bit of character development for everyone happening right now. I mean, it's not a lot. We got a good amount for Reva, but that's pretty cool. Like, she lives alone, her parents are all corporate, and she lives in a tiny ass apartment. Jesus Christ. I don't know. Man, I can't imagine living like that. Like, my dorm room is not that big, but like, this is a perfect size for me, in all honesty. Like, the bed's not too far from the desk, and like I have a closet and some drawers and some extra space. This is perfect if it was just me with like a kitchen, like, in all honesty. But like, living in a thing no bigger than a walk-in closet, I'm claustrophobic. Like, actually, like, it's bad. Like, I've gone to events with my club, and, well, I have claustrophobia and another phobia where it's like, I fear being trapped, and loud noises, like, tend to give me sensory overload. So like, there are times when I've gone to like events with my club, and like, I've like almost had attacks because it was too loud. There was not enough space for me to move around. Like, it has gotten bad before, and I just, it doesn't, like, I can't imagine like Reva living there. Like, environmentality and how she handles things, it's clearly that she can handle it. But God, if I lived like that, I would have gone mad. But whatever. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you want to see more videos from me or from this series, hit that subscribe button. And you are now exiting the Shadyverse. My name's Shades, and I hope you've enjoyed your day in the shade. See you guys later. Man, I'm loving this game so far. Bye-bye!